Hi everybody, welcome back. This is the second half of the Q tutorial for your toolbox. Your screen should look like this. This is where we left off. This is a single front view. We're still in the wireframe view for your model, which is what we're going to stay in here for a little while we do this. We're going to use the same technique we did earlier, way back when we first built the toolbox. We're going to copy and paste and resize our model that we have here. Alright, so first thing we need to do is, with the selection tool selected, we have snapping still selected. So we're going to select our model and Control C, Control V, copy and paste, and then we're going to grab the move tool and pull out the new model like this. And now we can use the scaling tool. Instead of using the scaling tool here, we're actually going to use the scaling that's built into the edit menu. So while this is still selected, go to edit, go down here to scale, and we're going to scale this by half, 0.5. And what that does now is this is now exactly half the size of our original model, which makes it 1 inch diameter. But as you can see, it's short because it's half the length. Also, if you turn on the CAD annotations, you can see it's only 30 inches. So what we've made is a Q130. This needs to be a Q160. So let's make it longer. So we're going to disable our CAD annotations here. While this is still selected, let's edit, locate, center about origin, isolate the x-axis, grab the move tool, drag this back out to the side here, and that puts this center division right in the middle where we want it. Now what we want to do is take this top dome portion, just this top part right here, and we want to move that up, and then we're going to take the bottom set of points that make the other dome and move that down. So we're going to grab the go to the object point edit mode, and you should see all of the points here. Grab the drag select tool, and then we are going to isolate the vertex select by just clicking on that. It unselects the other two. And then we also want to isolate the y-axis. Come over here and we're going to drag a box around these points right here, and then we're going to go to the view all, and then in the left view, let's go to one view for a second, and we're going to zoom out to where we can see the whole length of our model here, because what we're going to do is use this for reference as we're working. Okay, so we have these points selected. So go to your move tool with the Y isolated, hold down shift. If you don't hold shift, it will snap all of these points and distort. So hold down shift and then drag this up, and it should be snapping. So you're going to drag it till it just snaps to that length right there. And then we're going to go back to the front view. Back to the front view and grab the selection tool again, the drag select, and we're going to grab the bottom points this time. Go back to view all, go to the left view, one view, move tool, hold down shift, and then we're going to drag that one down as well. Make sure we're there, and then we can unselect that. And now what we've got here, as you can see, is now they're both the correct length, but our divisions are all still scaled incorrectly. So what we're going to do is scale those back to where they're supposed to be. So again, let's go to view all, grab your drag select tool, and then drag that around just the bunch of middle points of divisions here. And then on the left view, we're going to go to one view. And this time we're going to use the actual scale tool, but we want to use the non-uniform scale, which is this one. And then with Y selected, we are going to hold down shift, and you are going to click and just push the mouse up until your points line back up with the points in the existing model. And now all of our divisions are back to the way they're supposed to be. You can see them in there. So that's our first model. Alright, so we're going to do that same procedure, but this time we're going to scale up because we need to make a 350 now. So we're going to grab use the selection tool to grab the same model we worked with before, Control C, Control V, move tool, X isolated, slide that out. And now we're going to go to edit and scale. And this time we're going to go custom scale. And we want to make this 1.5 because we're making this 3 inches. And if you want to double check that, again, you can bring up your CAD annotations and you can see we are 3 inches right here. Okay, so again, we are the right diameter but the wrong length. This time we need to first scale back our divisions, and then set the length, and then scale divisions back. So let's select this, edit, locate, center about origin, use the move tool with X isolated to slide it back out. And now we are going to grab the drag select tool. We're going to go to the object point edit mode, grab the drag select tool, isolate the Y, and this time we're grabbing just the middle points again, and then non-uniform scale, hold down the shift key, and we're going to pull those down by moving the mouse down, and let's just make them nice and compact, like right around there for now. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to change the length of this to make it 50 inches, not 60 inches. So we are going to make a box. We've done this before. We're going to take and grab the cube tool and drag a cube out here, hold and drag, and then double click on that to size it. Let's make the X 10. The Y is going to be 50 for our length, and then Z can be 10 also. Let's edit, locate, center about origin, and then we'll drag that out, isolate the X, use the move tool, we'll drag that out so it's right on top of this. And then we're going to go to the object point edit mode, and that box is just a measuring stick, so we don't need to turn that into a mesh or anything. We're going to drag select and grab these points, and then we're going to hold down, grab the move tool, hold down shift, isolate the Y. We're going to drag that down until we are just below that line. You can zoom in to get this nice and accurate. And then we're going to do the same on the bottom, back to the drag select tool, hold down shift, grab the move tool, drag this up until you get it right on this line. And then we're going to zoom out, and you can see our spacing on our points is still a little tight, so now we can go and grab with the drag select the middle points. And this you're just going to kind of eyeball, use the non-uniform scale, hold down shift, and you're going to spread these back out so they look pretty evenly spread like that. So you kind of got a good gap between the ends and everything. So you want to make something that looks something about like that. The spacing on the divisions isn't too critical, just as long as they're pretty evenly spaced across the object. Okay, we're done with the measuring stick, so you can click on that, select that, and delete that. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Okay, now the next one we're going to make is a 646. So I'm going to take the 350 that we just made, Control C, Control V, isolate the X, use the move tool and pull that out. Now this needs to be 6 inches. We know this is 3, so we can just double this. So we're going to go to Edit, Scale, Scale by 2, and that makes this 6 inches in diameter. Edit, Locate, Center about origin, isolate the X, move tool, drag that out, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And now we're going to do the same procedure. We're going to go back to the object point edit mode, drag select, and we are going to drag select the middle points. And then we are going to use the non-uniform scale, hold down shift, oops, isolate the Y, isolate the Y, non-uniform scale, hold down shift, and then we're going to drag and compact these down, get them small enough to where we can work with them. Oops, I didn't grab all of them. So I'm just undoing right there, Control Z to undo. Now we're going to scale this way. There, now we bring them all down nice and compact. And then we're going to make a new measuring stick using the cube tool, click and drag, double click that. This is 46, 10 by 10. I'm just using tab to tab through those real quick. Click OK, edit, locate, center about origin, and then we're going to use the X, isolate the X, use the move tool to drag this out on top of our model, and that's what we need to fit into to be a 646. So let's go to the object point edit mode, drag select. You can see our points are still selected here. We're going to drag select the top part here, move tool, isolate the Y, hold down shift, drag this down. And because we have snapping enabled, that's why we keep snapping right to the points. And I landed that right on there. So that was good. And then we're going to go to the drag select tool again, select the bottom points, back to the move tool, hold down shift, move the bottom up, Zoom in, and I missed that one. There we go. So that now is exactly 46 inches. And our spacing on the points actually looks pretty good. I'm going to select the measuring cube we made and delete that. Go back to the point edit. And I don't need to resize these points, but you can if yours don't look like they're spaced correctly. So same thing, you're going to select those points. Going to go to the non-uniform scale, hold down shift. All this works, you got to make sure your Y is isolated. Hold down shift, and then you can resize these and get them spaced out evenly. Mine were actually pretty close where they were. Okay, and I'm just holding down shift and control to unselect those. Now I'm going to control shift and isolate the X. I'm going to slide this over, slide both of these over, and I'm going to grab this one, and I'm just using the control shift trick to select and unselect these. So you can see it toggling over here. So what I've done is just grouped them nice and neat, and there are our models. I am going to go in here, double click, use the selection tool, double click 160Q, call this a 260Q, and I'm just double clicking on the object and renaming it here in the properties. 350Q, and then 646Q. File and save, and you are done. You now have your Q models built for your toolbox. In the next one, what I'll do is I'll show you how to put these into columns and twist them and bend them, and using the tool that we used before. We've used the modifier tool before, so I will show you how to group these and use the modifying tool on them. Okay, thank you for watching.